There we go. Hey, what's up? Elder Webb, what's up? How you doing today? Hope you're having a good day today, and if not, hope this opportunity for you have a better day. Just starting to stream. You're the first one here. You may be the only one here today. I don't always know. Sometimes I get a bunch of people in here. Sometimes I get no people. It is what it is. But thanks for being here. Glad you're here. I'm setting something up here. Okay, good. Sorry. I always forget something. But I mean, every time I start, there's always like one thing that I forget. Do I have anything to do with server admin? No, sorry, I don't. If you'd asked me that like 15 years ago, I would have said yes because I did do server admin stuff. But these days, I'm so far out of the loop, I don't know what's going on. So sorry, can't help you there. Well, what's your problem? What's going on? Maybe I can pretend. I'll do a chat GPT on you and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. How about that? Does that count for anything? You cannot post pics. Where? What are you talking about? Post pics where? To what? Not post pics. No translator anymore. What's up, Wolfman? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good day. Hope things are working out. Helder over on YouTube is having a problem. You cannot post pics. What? Post pics to where? Wolfman says get a 3PO unit they can translate. Yeah, but they're a little fussy, you know? I'm thirsty. I literally just filled this up 5 minutes ago. Oh, on Mastodon, Helder, you can't post pics. Talk to your instance admin. I don't know what instance you're on. That would be the first thing you'd want to do is talk to your instance admin. Find out if there's something going on. You know, it could be something. It could be nothing. And it also helps. Ask your instance if they have a Discord. Like I know Mastodon.social has a Discord that you can report or ask. Let them know things are going wrong. So you can try that too. Now I am lost. I'm sorry, Helder. What did I confuse you on? Just remove the wine, the Skywalker chip. What in the 3PO unit? Sure, you could do that. But man, they'll cost you. Oh, you're lost on your instance? So your instance is the last part of your Mastodon social. Like, for instance, my Mastodon social is at Mr. Funky Dude at mastodon.social. If that's the instance you belong to, then mastodon.social is your instance. You need to go to, probably best thing is go to web and, no problem with, go to the web site and, report a problem, that kind of thing. or just wait and see if other people are asking if other people are having the same problem, what have you. So you understand, Helder, how Mastodon works, right? Like a lot of people, even like new people coming in, don't always know how Mastodon works. Mastodon is what you call a federalized, decentralized service. And it's a lot like email. And I'll explain it to you in email terms. So when you go join Gmail, right? When you go and join Gmail, you can still email people on Hotmail, even though they're using a different service. And the reason is because email uses the same protocol. So all email services use the same protocol so that they can talk to each other, right? So that's how email works. But each email service is their own service. There's Google, Hotmail, Yahoo, ProtonMail, etc. Follow me? So think of those as instances, right, of each email service, right? Google is an instance of their email service. Yahoo is an instance of their email service, and so on. Mastodon and the rest of the Fediverse work similarly to email in the sense of that when you sign up for Mastodon, you're going on to an instance of Mastodon, and there are many instances of Mastodon, and you can start your own instance of Mastodon if you're tech savvy enough or what have you, right? But like, let's start with, usually when you join Mastodon, you're put onto what's called mastodon.social. That's usually the first one they put you on. And if you like that, you could stay. If you would like to join another instance that maybe aligns more with how what you think is important, like there are art instances, there are music instances, there are LGBTQ instances, and it's not that they only have to put those things on those instances. It's just that those instances cater to people who align with, those things, kind of like that. So that means that Mastodon is federated, means there's boom, 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 different instances, and they all connect to each other, and they all talk to each other unless they're blocked from one or the other for whatever reason. That's the federation. We call that the Fediverse, not just Mastodon, but it's other things like PixelFed, PeerTube, things like that. Okay, that's the Fediverse because they all use the same protocol. Like email services use the same protocol. Everything in the Fediverse uses the same protocol, but we'll just stick with Mastodon for right now. So Mastodon uses this protocol, and it can talk to other people who are running the Mastodon instances if they're federated with them. The decentralized part is that there's no one owner of Mastodon. No one owns Mastodon. There's no Mastodon Central, what have you. There are people who work on the Mastodon code. They update it. They make it better and what have you. And there are certain guidelines which, when you use Mastodon, you agree, like no hate speech, things like that. But other than that, it's yours, right? So that's basically Mastodon. That's the Fediverse in general. It's federated and decentralized. Now you can go and join another instance, and when you do, you can take with you your followers, right? The people you follow and the people who follow you as well. It can't take your posts, but you can take your followers with you to another instance. And you might find that instance more aligns with your personal ethics or what have you, and that's why you want to join. Or maybe the instance you're on is having too many issues all the time, and so you want to go on a smaller instance that won't have as many issues. There's lots of reasons you might want to leave an instance, right? But the great thing is, just like when you leave an email service, like if you will decide to leave Gmail, you could take all your contacts and go over to Yahoo Mail or Hotmail or wherever and still email for them from there, right? Only thing that changes is your email address. It's the same thing with Mastodon. The only thing that changes is your instance address. Like I said, the instance address would be, mine is at Mr. Funky Dude at mastodon.social. It's that mastodon.social part that's the instance. So I don't know if I went over your head or anything on that. I hope you understand that. That's basically how it works. And I see you say that you downloaded the Tusky app. Yeah, that's Android. I'm on iOS, so I know people have talked well about the Tusky app. Tusky app is really good. A lot of people seem to like that app. So that's good. As well, I just got a message from Jeff Brown. My instance admin says translator's working and they are rebuilding servers. Okay, there you go. That's your answer right there. And you know what? I always encourage people that, if you can, if you've been on the instance that you're on for a while, or even if it's just a short time and you want to support them, look into helping them, look into donating money to your instance admin, because these guys, big or small, instances, it costs them money. It's not free. It costs them time to run, things like that. So, consider 10, 20, however much you can afford to donate to your instance to help them move forward, help them grow, and say thanks for all the service and all the work that they're doing for you, because it's not free for them, even if they offer it free to you. Like, I'm a Patreon over on mastodon.social, so tried Thread, not impressed. Well, yeah, I get that. I am very you contribute. That's excellent. That's wonderful. Glad that you do. Excellent. Good that you contribute. Threads. I have this sneaky suspicion that Threads is never going to start using the ActivityPub protocol, because Threads is supposed to be able to connect to the Fediverse, to Mastodon, because they're supposed to be implementing soon the ActivityPub protocol with their service, right? I don't know if I just don't trust Meta or what have you, or if there's a sneaky, and I don't trust Facebook. I don't trust Meta at all. I haven't used their service for years. Something in the back of my head is suspicious that maybe what they're doing is they're trying to devalue the ActivityPub protocol. I think what they're going to do, I would not be surprised if what they try to do is they try to come back and say, oh, we tried, to use the ActivityPub protocol, but it's so weak and there's so many problems with it that we just couldn't justify it. I'm waiting for that. Because this reason. And maybe I'm being paranoid. That's possible, right? That is 100% possible. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but I don't know that I am. So I think what's happening is that they're going to say that it doesn't work well, it's not secure enough, that there's too many reasons not to use it as a way of devaluing the activity protocol, because I think they know that once Threads people start talking to Mastodon people and start seeing how much happier with the service Mastodon people are than Threads, because we're not the product, we're users. On Threads, you're a product. You're being tracked. You're being controlled by an algorithm. All this other stuff that is typical with how Meta makes money, because Meta's got to make money. They're definitely not going to take donations like instances, right? And so people over there they're the product. They're the product of the service. They think that the service is using Threads. That's not. They are the service, right? You're the product. Meta's making money off of you and what have you. So you will always be within the realm of influence of Meta. And when people start to see on Threads how much happier people on Mastodon are, they're going to want to think they're going to consider moving over to Mastodon, because why not? Right? So I think that Threads is going to try to devalue the ActivityPub protocol, which Mastodon works on, in one way or another. They're either going to say that, oh, sorry, we couldn't do it, because they don't want people going over to Mastodon once they see how much better it is. And then they want to devalue it at the same time, right? For other services, by saying, oh, the ActivityPub protocol it's there's too many things wrong with it, so people should use our protocol. I think it's the same thing that Blue Sky is going to do as well. I think Elder says, I think Walmart is going to run it all. Yeah, could be. Absolutely could be. Never been attacked in Mastodon, 8-month user. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not to say that it doesn't happen. You know, Mastodon is not the perfect place. It's a great place. It's probably the best social media service I've ever used. You know, but I just saw this. Sorry. Yeah, I love the trees as well. But yeah, it's and I've never been attacked on Mastodon either. Not really. I've never really had that big of a problem with trolls. I've had one or two pop up, but I just ban them. It's I block them. It's not difficult, you know. And but I've had probably in social media the most success with Mastodon than I ever did with Twitter or Facebook or wherever else. Why? I think it's because I kind of started opening up more, started being myself more, what have you. Oh, Wolfman. That's funny. 3 bands so far in 8 months. Yeah, that's not bad. That's good. But yeah, I love Mastodon. I'm on that thing all day long reading stuff. It was when I stopped. I used to go to Reddit in the mornings to just read content and whatever. And since I quit Reddit, now I'm like deeper into like the Mastodon trending and things like that. So I'm a big proponent of Mastodon. If you're going to use a social media service, use one that's created for and by the people. Elder says left Facebook 3 years ago. That's good. I think I left it like 8 years. No, wait, 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. It was, let's see, around 2015 or 2014. I can't remember. But yeah, I left. That's why I left Facebook because I was just sick of it. I knew what was happening with it. I didn't like the company, so I just left. I joined Mastodon in 2018. I think 2017 or 2018, but I really didn't start going, hardcore with it, if you want to call it that, taking it seriously until probably last year. Once people started migrating in from Twitter and other places. Wolfman says I have to stay because of the TV show. Yeah, no, I get that, Wolf. Helderweb Wolfman here. It's over on Twitch. He is with a company called Troop, whatever you call it, called a website called creaturefeaturetv.com. Creaturefeaturetv.com. If you're aware of shows like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, or where you see those cheap B and D class horror movies and there's skits in between with monsters and crazy things, that's creaturefeaturetv.com. It's a lot of fun. So I understand. Look, some people can't choose. There are people that have to use Meta for whatever reason, right? They have to stay with it because they feel like it's how they keep in contact with the majority of their fans and what have you. And if your fans and the users are mostly on Meta, I get it. Like the people I felt the worst for when Twitter started falling apart, right? Were people that relied on their community they built on Twitter, and not just for support for emotional, but sometimes donations to help make money, to get certain services and what have you, or to keep in contact with their community. And that was the saddest thing when Twitter started falling apart. Was these people would come to Mastodon and they would talk about how sad they were that oh, hold on 1 second. 1 second, be right back. All right, sorry about that. Had my door rang. Had a delivery to my door. So some medication I've been waiting on. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I lost my train of thought completely. What was I talking about? Cannot remember what I was talking about now. Sorry, totally wasted it. Lost my train of thought. Oh, it's talking about I don't even remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Distraction and ADHD do not go well together. Older says, I watch plenty of court stuff and I'm trying to wean off cable news. Yeah, I stay away from that stuff. You know, I don't watch cable news, any of them. And I'm not saying I'm better or anything like that than anybody, but it's just not, I have better sources of getting my news, and it's not crazy crackpot places. It's places like AP News, NPR, things like that. So my granddaughter has ADHD. Yeah, well, I know what the feeling is. Had it all my life. It has been a thing. It has been a thing. It's it can be a struggle. Let's put it that way. It can really be a struggle. It's more having ADHD is more than just bouncing off the walls, chattering a lot, being all over the place, that kind of thing. It's much more than that, and see, I would advise, and if I can give this advice, pass it on to her parents if you can. Say, hey, I talked to an adult with ADHD and he's well knowledgeable about these things. The advice I would give to her parents, and I don't know what her age is or what have you. I'm just going to go with the assumption that she's a child, right? Maybe a preteen. I'm just going to go with that assumption for a second. It kind of advice goes up in age, in the sense of that can be applied as well. But this is specifically about children. One of the mistakes that parents make, she's 13. Okay, great. One of the mistakes parents make about ADHD is they don't actually learn what ADHD is. They think, oh, my kid is always talking a lot and bouncing off the walls, and if I give them this pill, they're going to slow down. Okay. And that's what my parents thought, and this was in the beginning of people didn't even know what ADHD was when I had it when I was a kid. And now we have a lot more knowledge about it. But I would say to those parents, learn as much as you can about what ADHD actually is. It is not just bouncing off the walls. It is not just going yakety, yakety, yakety. There are so many other things that go into having ADHD that people who are neurodivergent that don't have ADHD will not be able to understand, right? Like I'll give you a couple of examples. There's a thing that is common with ADHD, which is called object impermanence, right? So let me give you an example. So if you take something like this remote control here for the fan over here, right? She doesn't like the pills. I understand that. Let's say let's say you have something like this and you set it down on a table. Your brain knows that that's still there, right? You see it and you know that it's still there, and your brain registers that it's still there. Someone who has ADHD and has an issue with object impermanence, they won't see it being there. It's not that they don't see it. They see it physically, but their brain doesn't register that it's there still. And so, like, I'm sure this 13-year-old person has a problem. Like, sometimes they're told, oh, go and find this, go and find that, and they can't find it, even though it's right in front of them. That's object impermanence, and that's something that is common with people with ADHD. Another thing that is common with people with ADHD is called Oh Jesus, it's it's called I'm farting what it's called right now, but basically the idea is that another thing with ADHD, and again, it's a spectrum. Not everybody will have this problem. Some people will. My biggest problem with ADHD was that um, my brain has a hard time assigning things as being losing signal, assigns things as being important. Like I will know that I need to do something. I will know that it's important that I do that, but my brain won't process the chemicals which push me to go do that thing, which push me to classify that as being an important thing and to move forward with it. So I'll either forget about it, like that happens all the time. So I can't tell you how many things that are important that I've forgotten about, right? Or that people will say to me, "This needs to get done," and I know it's important, and I'll do it, but not with and sometimes I'll do it if I remember to, but not with that feeling that most people have of feeling like they've accomplished something important. A lot of times the things that that I have to do because intellectually I know it's important, but my brain is just like, fuck, my brain is what is this? What is this? Who cares? Won't produce those chemicals which push me forward to do it. So I have to go like, okay, I know this is something I need to do. So I need to move forward and do it. When that does happen, I don't give a shit about it. I don't. I cannot. Even if it's something I love doing. Right. And I know that I need to do. I don't give a shit about getting it done. I'm only doing it because I know it needs to be done. My brain won't produce those chemicals which move me forward. You get it? My brain just won't push me forward in that way. And that's a struggle that I've had my entire life with ADHD. Executive command, that's what it's called. Executive command dysfunction, right? So that's another thing that's common with ADHD. So that's why I say to people who have parents, don't just assume that ADHD is just getting excitable and talking a lot and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more going on there that you're not aware of. And if they don't start preparing their child to learn how to deal with it, either through educating themselves and then educating their child, or getting their child into like some kind of therapy that knows how to deal with ADHD and knows how to educate them, they're going to have a lot more problems in the future. Like paying bills. Yeah, like I know I need to do it. I get it done, but I don't have that joy of getting it done. Yeah. Imagine feeling that way about everything you do. And that there are only like maybe 1 out of 100 things that you get excited about, that you can get excited about doing, that you push forward and doing. And everything else is just a chore that you know you have to do. That's part of having ADHD. So again, tell them it's important, educate themselves, read, make sure that their information is valid and not crackpots, because there's a lot of crackpots out there. Look for citations, look for doctors talking about it. Things like that. There's a lot of good information out there. And just like anything else, there's a lot of crap information out there. But it's important that those parents educate them as to what ADHD is so that they can educate their child and help, that child move through her world and understanding herself. Because for me, I didn't. I'll tell you what happened. And this is because back when I was a kid, they barely knew what ADHD was, right? But I grew up with my mother teaching me that if I acted out, that it was because of my ADHD. She treated my ADHD like it was a little monster that existed inside of me. And that if I wasn't careful, if I wasn't like I was on some kind of weird diet or, to help, and I was on Ritalin, if I forgot to take my pill, or if I ate something that was off of my diet, I would be in trouble, right? Hold on a second. I would be in a lot of trouble. There we go. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Wolf. Got it before I did. I would be in a lot of trouble, Boom, the power of the paw. Thank you, man. I would get in a lot of trouble. So I was raised to believe that there was something bad inside of me that if I let loose, that I would be in trouble. People wouldn't like me. And when people didn't like me, I attributed it to that. I attributed it to the bad thing that was inside of me, which was the ADHD, right? So I was taught, I have to behave this way, eat this way, make sure I take my pills. Otherwise, I was letting my parents down, my mother down, and I was being a bad person. I would get in trouble. That's the worst way to approach someone with ADHD, a child with ADHD. And I suffered for decades because of that. Because I believed that there was something wrong with me, even into my adulthood, that I didn't quite understand. It wasn't until I got into therapy in my 40s that I would start able to unpack it, right? And to understand it better. So please, if anything, tell those parents, learn everything they can about ADHD, understand what it is so that they can move forward and help their kid move forward. And I'll drop it at that. Probably gone over it enough. Wolfman says creaturefuturetv.com has an online event at 7 p.m. Central. Oh, sweet. If I can, I'll check it out. What's the event going to be about? I assume it's going to be live or something else, or I let the monsters inside of me have their fun. Yeah. Well, when you're a kid and you're growing up with that, it's not the greatest feeling. It's I'm not saying wah me or anything like that. I'm just saying, you have to consider these things, and parents sometimes don't, because they have this idea, and it's mostly from media. The ADHD is just kids bouncing off the wall or talking a lot or not paying attention or whatever. It's much more than that. Wolf says Saturday it's a show with a movie you may have heard of, Foul Uprising. Yeah, I heard I heard the the trailer for that's really good. Well, thanks. Yeah, no problem. More than happy to help. It's something I care a lot about. Something that I think is important. So again, tell them to educate themselves. About what ADHD actually is. Don't rely on the medication. No, understand so they can teach and move forward. You want me to show the trailer? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Foul Uprising. Here's that awesome trailer. Oh, here it is. Okay. One second. That's great. Screen share. Foul Uprising. Here you go. Trailer for Foul Uprising. I think I got the right one.
Omaha Hero Films presents A Tale of a Mobster in Denial.
Listen, The thing is that every bullet to the head, ice pick to the eye, or bottle rocket right up the culo, right or wrong, we're the bad guys.
A tale of a gigolo on the run.
Alright, first off, if Don Luigi's grandpappy would be giving Don Luigi's grandmommy a little more attention, she wouldn't be coming around to me. That old woman, she deserves better. And I'd give it to her.
A tale of a brilliant scientist in distress.
No cerebral human being is going to choose to be a part of your sick, unethical, sick, mad, sick plans, Dr. Sanders.
Sick.
And a tale of the madman who wants to unleash feathery hell on them all.
We shall attack tonight!
For this is a tale of many tales. Chicken tales, that is. For this is the tale of the fowl uprising.
Buck's up in the air, A's coming out. Screw it, let's go for it, chickens!
The day when the chickens pecked back.
You will never win. The chicken shall never be choked.
Behold the horrors of genetic poultry enhancements gone wrong.
Once I'm done whipping this meat hen's ass, you can join him in the meat grinder as well.
Join him in the meat grinder.
My watch, Darth Plucker.
Hey,
Designed to be eaten, they are now the eaters. In a world where it's mankind that's for dinner, can anyone stop the fowl uprising?
This is not what I signed up for! All the screaming, the blood, and the feathers, and the egg yolk! Oh my god, the egg yolk!
Commanded by the diabolical Dr. Sanders, these birds of a feather will kill together.
Would you all, every last one of you, be willing to risk your beaks for one chance?
One
chance to tell the humans that they may take your lives, but they will never take your feathers!
When these chickens cross the road, you better pray that your ass isn't on the other side.
Indeed, waves of murderous chickens are sweeping the globe. Eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who are understandably frightened and almost certainly piss-faced drunk.
This is just like a bad Zack Snyder movie where everything is just exoteric and nobody gives a damn.
White meat, dark meat, it's all dead meat.
Mamma mia!
In the foul uprising. Kevin Heesacker.
I'm here to break hearts and crack eggs, and I'm all out of heart.
Moose Epperson.
Is that a dick joke?
Eric Luna.
I'm just a gigolo, trying to cut my way out in this here crazy life. Trying to get my slice of the pie like everyone else here.
David Zorko.
Smash like and subscribe on your new YouTube channel. George digs a hole and dies. Well, let's just say if that happened, it would be, horrible.
Lacey Lou Laree.
General Bulk, enough is enough. I'm about to go all scientific method on your ass.
And Sam Rocha as the voice of General Bulk.
you stupid human. Bullets have no effect on me. You're so stupid. Stupid, stupid human.
Foul uprising. This is no turkey movie. Foul uprising, hatching soon.
There we go. The foul uprising. It was foul. And it was uprising. So they were both foully uprising. That was a lot of fun. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, back. Look who's back. All right, fix that. All right, it's back. So that was the Foul Uprising. Not just foul, but it's uprising as well. Wolf says, that is our movie we are showing. I was the voice of the other chicken that said the chicken will never be choked. That's awesome. And some extra roles in a number of scenes. He says we have a brand new episode of Creature Feature too. Wow, you guys haven't had a new episode in a long time, huh? How'd you manage that? That's been a while. Because it's been a while. But cool, man. Cool, nice. 2 years? Oh, Jesus. Think it might have lost some of your fan base along the way. Might as well just be rebuilding from scratch at that point. That's crazy. I hope it works. No. Hopefully things will go well with it. It's a reboot, Wolf says. All I'll say is Otis is a Wolfman and Wolfman is Otis. What? Wolfman is okay. I look forward to seeing it. Now I'm wondering what's going on. Now I'm curious. Now I want to know. That's crazy. Oh shit. All right, he's had a problem with something. All right. You're going to a new market. What's the new market? What? Plus, we will be love and chatting? What does that mean? Oh, we'll be live and chatting live. We don't love. What the hell is love and chatting? Spreading love and chatting. Oh, that's exactly what I would expect from Creature Feature. Live from Minneapolis. Does Minneapolis is the existence of Minneapolis, does it imply that there is an existence of a Maximumopolis? A Maxiopolis? Where is Maxiopolis? I'm on with the jokes today. Something like that. I don't know. I try. I don't always succeed, but I try. Yeah. There you go. And of course, if anybody wants to join me as a guest, they can. Just go to my Discord and you'll see a link there. The public chat. You can click on that and you can become a guest. Do or do not. There is only try. It says, send me a link. I can go love on my phone. Oh, if you want to go live on your phone? Yeah, do it, man. Just, I posted the link in the Discord. In the, the public chat. What's up, Helder? You having a good time? I hope so. I am a watcher. Feel free to be a watcher, man. There's nothing wrong with that. You can just watch all you want. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Just chill, and if you're good with the vibes, then you're good with the vibes, and that's all that counts, man. Happy to have you here, nonetheless, or less than none. Always got that backwards. No problem at all. But yeah, Foul Uprising was fun. I did the so if you didn't notice, I did the voiceover for Foul Uprising, the Foul Uprising. That kind of thing. All right, Wolf, I see you. Hold on a second. Let me get you in there. No camera, that's fine. Hold on. No, hold on a second. Let me get you into the thing here. There you go. Hopefully everybody can hear you. So, how's it going, Wolf?
Testes. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good, man. How are you?
I am better than some, not as good as others. I'm hanging in there.
Right on.
Helder Webb, let me make sure. Helder Webb, let me know if you can hear Wolf. You should be able to. No problem.
Yeah, and hi, yes. Helder Webb. Thanks for joining his stream. This is probably one of the coolest streamers that I know personally. And
oh, stop!
I'm just saying. He's real. What you see on that screen is him.
Yeah, I'm not faking shit.
No,
this is me. No, like, oh my god, some of the streamers out there.
I was gonna try. I tried to watch you when you went on Monday.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't keep a good signal because I was on my way back from Oklahoma.
Oh, really? That's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah. So tell me about the whole thing. You got a lot of great pictures from that came up. That was.
Well, okay. It started out. I wanted to go. I'll just recap it real quick.
Sure. And let everybody know what it is you went to.
Right. It's Oklahoma HorrorCon in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's basically just your typical con, but instead of anime or sci-fi or whatever, it was all horror. That awesome. Being said, they did have Ray Parks there who plays Darth Maul.
Okay. Well,
but that was and they did have a wrestler there, but it was Kane. So does that count for horror? Absolutely. Because he's
sure.
done horror.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did that See No Evil piece of crap that anyway.
Right.
So I wanted to go because a lot of people that I'm very loosely affiliated with were going. It's a group of haunters called Scurry Face. Check out their website sometime. They do streaming too. Really cool, laid back people. If you're into Halloween and spooky stuff, these are your peeps.
Right.
They were going down, and I was like, I want to meet some of these people, and Oklahoma isn't that far. So I was like,
sure.
Okay. I asked my buddy Mikey. Now, Mikey, people will know him as Otis from the show, and he also is a part of Scurry Face as Tweaky the Clown. He's pretty cool dude. I was like, hey, can I ride with you? He's like, well, I don't know. I might be staying longer. That wasn't the case, but that's his business. And I told him straight up, hey, if I can't ride with you, no big deal. I'll see you down there.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't ride with him. So I was going to rent a car, and he said, talk to another guy named Thrasher.
Right.
Like, all right, Thrasher, hey, what's up? Mikey told me to call you. This is what's up. He goes, well, you rent the car, I'll cover the room. And whoever pays more will make up the difference. I'm like, sounds like a plan. Well,
that's fair.
Right. Well, then he called me and said, hey, we were going to leave Thursday night, but we ended up leaving Friday because another scurry face individual wanted to go with us. His name is Scab. This dude is very, very talented. His name is, he also goes by DJ Doc because he's a DJ, and he's done a couple of things from people that almost everybody has heard of. I can't say because it hasn't been announced.
Right.
And as they say, what happens in the car stays in the car.
Sure.
What happens at OKC stays at OKC. That being said, we drove down there. The most interesting thing driving from Omaha to Oklahoma City was we stopped at a gas station, and instead of a men's and women's sign, one of them had a hot dog bun and the other one had a hot dog with the hot dog bun in it. Yes, I got a picture. I thought I sent it to you.
That's funny.
If not, I will. I had to take a picture of that because that was the most creative way to label a restroom I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
So then we get down there, finally. Now, when we left Omaha, it was 79 degrees. I was wearing a pair of light pants. They weren't very heavy. T-shirt, and I had my traveling vest on that I always wear. It's basically like a biker cut, like you see on Sons of Anarchy.
Sure.
Funny story. How I got it was these guys were playing Sons of Anarchy at a con and said, "You want to be a prospect?" I'm like, "Sure." I put it on, hung out with them for the night. And I went to give it back to them at the end of the con. They weren't there. I'm like, okay. I put a thing in Facebook. Hey, the prospect wants to give the vest back. Nobody said anything, so I got a new vest. Anyway. So we left Omaha. It was 79 degrees.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's good weather. I heard was it good weather in Oklahoma? The funny thing is, when I told Tam that you were going to Oklahoma City, she was all like, "What's the weather going to be?"
Well, as we were driving to Oklahoma City, it was raining when we left here. Not only did it start getting sunnier, but we watched the temperature climb. By the time we got out of the car at the hotel parking lot, it was 109 degrees.
Woo!
I stepped out and went, and couldn't hardly breathe. And then immediately one of the scurry-faced people was already out there. Her name is Rainbow Twitch. She's seen us, and she gave the other two a big hug, and she looked at me and said, "And you are?" I was like, "I'm Wolfman." She's like, "Oh," because I've talked to her online.
Yeah.
On the chat with when they're streaming as well.
Right.
And like I said, what happened there stays there, but they welcomed me into their group. I didn't really have any issues. The only issues was one of the guys that was staying in our room. He kept wanting to go in and out late. And I get it because he works third shift, but it's like, dude, it's 4 a.m. That's your curfew.
Yeah, let us sleep.
We got to be up and ready to go and be at this con at 10 o'clock in the morning. So,
right. Yeah.
But no, everybody was really cool. They were really nice. I made a lot of good connections, and it was nice to see some of these people's faces that I'd been talking to.
Sure.
Like, I'll give you details offline because I'm not going to announce it out on your channel yet.
I get it.
But there will be some Wolfman merchandise coming up before Halloween. Before Halloween.
Dude, I've been telling you for years.
I know.
You need Wolfman merch.
I wasn't in charge of merchandising, and I did the right thing because I just asked
absolutely.
Doc, hey, I'm going to be making some merchandise. Is that okay? And his reply was a thumbs up. I'm like, cool, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he would be against it, to be honest with you.
And they're not. It's just me doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You did the right thing.
Because, I mean, technically, I don't know who owns my character if you want to get down to copyrights and stuff, because he came up with the concept of what my character is, but then I took it and refined it to what it is now.
Right.
And if I ever left, they would, my understanding is that character goes with me because that's who I am.
Right.
And, I mean, not that there's any animosity within that group whatsoever. I make it sound like evil and foreboding. It's actually
not at all. I mean, it makes
sense.
sense. It makes sense.
But, we've never really done merchandising in that respect. Usually it's just been t-shirts, which I guess we're getting some more done.
That's good. Mine's wearing out.
Yeah, they do.
It's you can still tell what it is, but it's definitely the black is starting to fade.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I said don't put it in the dryer because the label.
Oh no,
will
that's
start
fine. The labels and everything are fine on it. It's the black that's starting to fade.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so it was working. It works. I still wear it like once a week. It's one of my weekly shirts.
I've got like 5 or 6 of them. So, but
and
yeah,
people asking me about it occasionally. I'll be out somewhere. They'll ask me, "What's that?" and I'll tell them what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to the con though. The things the things I can talk about.
Yeah,
I've
tell us
just
the
been
thing you
thinking
can.
I'm talking to you on the phone. I forgot I can look at you.
Hi.
Yes, I am. I mean, hi. I went as Wolfman the first day, Saturday.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I didn't get really much of a reaction,
Right.
except for Miguel Nunez Jr.
Right.
And he played in Juana Man and like one of the Night of the Living Dead movies of the. He's been in a lot of shit. He saw me and he's like, Wolfman, and I was like, what?
That's nice.
And I went over there and talked to him. I was like, sir, I'm a big fan. I am going to try to get back over here and get some merchandise from you at some point in the weekend. But thank you for what you've done, man. I was like,
yeah, that's cool.
And he was like, so what's this about? I was like, Scurry Face. And, I made sure to say their name several times too, because that's who I was there with. Like Scurry Face invited me to come down and hang out with them. This is my character from a television show that we do locally, blah, 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 went into the whole spiel.
Right.
And he sat there and I engaged him for like 5-10 minutes.
Nice.
It was pretty cool. I mean, and then the next day was the new mask that I've shown you.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm sitting outside in the actors area, basically where we can go and smoke and hang out and eat and whatever.
Right.
And CJ Anderson, I think his name is.
Right.
He's one of the dudes that played one of the Jasons.
Cool.
Like in
Did you get to sit and talk to him about it?
6 or 7, I think. I can't remember which. Well, I'm sitting out there and having a smoke, and my masks, I make them so I can eat and, well, not necessarily eat, but I can drink and have a smoke with them.
Sure, that's important.
Right. Well, you got to have priorities.
Gotta have priorities.
When I went to eat, I just took the mask and wig off.
Right.
But I'm sitting out there hanging out, and he looks over at me. He goes, "That looks good." And I look to both sides and like behind. He's like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you, man." He goes, "You make that?" I go, "Yeah." And he asked what I did, just latex and stitches. He goes, "That looks pretty cool, dude. You did a good job." I'm like, "Thanks." Because I couldn't talk because
right.
Somebody that's actually done something is saying that looks good.
Oh, thanks.
It was more of a clip. Let me give you a subject to talk about.
Yeah,
Mike Myers bit.
Right. Talk amongst yourselves.
Right. There's a subject. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then Sunday night we went to a place called the Main Event. And they're sitting there talking about main event this and main event that, and they had wrestling there too. I didn't really get to see any of the wrestling too much because we were already gone by the time it started.
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah.
However, we went. I thought it was like some kind of boxing club or it was like the Main Event. We get there and it's basically one of those restaurants that actually was one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever had in my life.
Really? Wow.
And I don't say that lightly. I mean, I was pretty messed up when we got there, but still,
Hey, that's when the cheeseburgers taste the best.
Right. And it was like, good. I mean, I'm smiling now, remembering this stupid bacon cheeseburger that was just amazing.
It's like, what's the joke? You ever had a cheeseburger? You ever had a cheeseburger on weed?
You ever had a cheeseburger with bacon? they put a garlic aioli in it too.
Ooh,
Like,
nice.
I'm gonna look that up how to make it because that was amazing. But
Yeah.
it was basically like an adult version of Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, damn. Like
But-
it wasn't like Dave and Buster's, was it?
Yeah, exactly, but better.
Okay.
They have Dave and Buster's here. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese
For adults.
without, without the robots. But they had bowling at this one too. I don't know if Dave and Buster's do.
Yeah. Some do, some don't.
Right. They have a place that's similar to that right up the road from where I live
Mm-hmm.
called the Mark, which, immediately I think of wrestling again because a mark is somebody that they're trying to. A mark is somebody that's paying for their shit.
Not to interrupt you, but you know what people sleep on all the time? Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Chuck E. Cheese pizza is not bad pizza. It's like
not-
above mid-grade good pizza. It's not the best pizza, but it's not bad.
Good pizza either. I mean,
Well, it's not great
there
pizza,
either.
but it's not bad. I mean, I've tasted for a child's place, you expect worse. You know what I mean? It's like you expect the bare minimum. It's not bad. It's just not great. But anyway, go ahead with what you're saying.
Actually, I don't know if I've ever actually been to a Chuck E. Cheese because the last time I would have gone to one of those, it was Showbiz Pizza.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, now we're showing ages.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I want to hear about the rest of your trip. Go ahead.
So yeah, we go to this place. It's called the Main Event, and it's basically like a Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster's for adults. But I mean, there's
Right.
kids there too. They had a bowling alley, a bar, like a full bar where you can just go sit at the bar. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come all the way to a place like this and sit at a bar.
Right.
All kinds of like little video games, and I fucked up and played some of the video games first because like I ended up paying like $80 for my meal and little package that I bought,
Right.
but I didn't buy any autographs at the convention, so it worked out. That was my money that I would have spent. So what the hell?
Yeah.
Like the burger was like 10 or 15 bucks.
I
but
love
then-
a good burger.
it might have been a little bit more, but then I added like a $50 game card to it.
Nice.
Well, it's like there ain't nobody here to tell me no.
Yeah, go have fun.
Right. And like even if there was, Cammy would be like, go have fun. She's
Yeah.
totally down with me doing whatever as long as, I'm behaving, and I do. I mean,
Yeah. Just be responsible and you're fine, man.
but they had like different, like there was a Batman game where you drive the Batmobile.
Nice.
I played that one. Then I played this one, and it was like some kind of a zombie, like a Resident Evil, but you sit in this little booth, and they like do sensory shit to you, where you'll get cold air blowing on the back of your neck, and like
That's cool. I've seen those.
at certain times there'll be like a funky smell. So
You know,
they
they have-
try to, they try to do it as much as they can. And then I played a Ghostbuster, which is one that pissed me off because I beat the first level. You got a proton pack and you just shoot
Right.
ghosts. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they say bonus level, and it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Well, I didn't get everything on the bonus level, and then it quit my game. I'm like, wait a minute, if it's a bonus level, you shouldn't be able to die and lose your credit.
Sure. Right.
And then the games, you pay $50 for a card, and you got like 250 credits or something.
Right.
But the games are like 7.5 credits.
Credits each. Yeah. Yeah. So you blow through it real fast. That's how they get you.
Well, and I wish that I hadn't played the bullshit games, because I did find one that I was doing pretty good on. It was one of those little skill games that they have. And
Right.
you have to shoot a coin through like this Ferris wheel, and on each Ferris wheel there's a block with a hole in it. And if you make
Okay.
it through the hole, it shoots more coins down,
Sure.
and then they drop, and then you make the coins drop, is basically what the game is. It's one of those coin drop. I was getting really good
I
at it.
understand what you're talking about.
I only spent about 150 credits on it, and I ended up getting like altogether like 800 tickets.
Damn.
And part of that was I couldn't figure out what the jig was. Okay, what do you do here? And then once I figured it out, I'm like, oh shit, this is easy. And I was racking up the points. I mean, I was getting games with like 200 credits a game.
Nice.
And Mikey, Tweaky, Otis, whatever you want to call him,
right?
He was sitting right next to me, and he was doing the same thing. He ended up getting enough to get a giant Care Bear.
That's funny.
But he said he reloaded his card once. I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to spend that much money as it was, because then I went and, if I hadn't have played laser tag, I would have, because then I had to pay $10 extra to play laser tag.
Right.
But that was actually all right.
That reminds me of the last time I was actually at a Dave and Buster's. They had one of these like wheels that you spin, and it would show like how many tickets you could win, right? For prizes and stuff like that. So like there was one, the biggest thing on there was like, I think 500 tickets or something like that, right? And so I spun it once and I got like 50 tickets, right? And so I feel like 50 tickets come out. And I felt like when I spun it, I felt like, oh, you know what? I think I get this. I felt like the weight of it, like I felt confident with it. So I spun it again. I got the 500. Right. So all of a sudden these tickets start pouring out. Right. So now I've got like 600 tickets. I got the 500 I got the first time, the 500 I got the second time. Alarms going off and everything. Right. Because it's one of those things. Woo, woo, 500. Right.
Right.
So I go to do it again. I get another 500. Right. Because I've got the weight of this wheel down. Like I know how much I have to push to get it to that point. Right. I get another 500. Alarms going off. Now there's someone watching me, right? There's like the people walking around with the coin purses or you know whatever that work there.
Chuck E. Cheese security on your ass.
Right. So I go to do it again, and I get the 500 a third time. So now I've got 1,600 tickets, right?
Yeah.
And thing comes up. The person who works there comes up to me and shuts down the machine. I felt like I was in Vegas, you know.
Yeah, well,
I felt like
I was going to say the alternative is that they bring you into a back room, and you've seen Casino, right?
Yeah.
All right, instead of Little Nicky, it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Chuck E. Cheese, and he's going to whoop your ass for cheating him out of tickets.
I said, why are you turning off the machine? They said, well, it's obviously broken. And I'm looking at him and go, how do you know it's just not my skill?
Right.
Oh, sorry, we have to check it now. Okay, great.
All right, I'll wait for you and just sit there and wait.
No, they didn't check it. They just put a thing around it, like a tape around it, and a sign that says not working. And then they walked away. They didn't check it. They were waiting for me to leave. I guarantee all that shit came off. But if I would have cleaned that thing out of tickets, because I had the weight of that thing down. I knew exactly how much to roll. I would have just wiped it out.
I was doing with that coin game.
Yeah, right. That's what made me think about it.
I mean, and in some ways it still would cheat you, because, you know, you have the top row that pushes the coins.
Right.
And then you have all the coins precariously perched.
Right.
And then you like that. And then they go down to the second level, which is doing the same thing. But sometimes on that first level, when it first drops, instead of falling flat, it just gets pushed up onto the pile.
Right. Because those games aren't meant for you to win.
No.
You know, they're meant for you to lose.
They're made to make you win enough to keep you playing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what it is. Exactly. That reminds me of another thing. When I was a kid, there was a restaurant chain in Southern California called Noggles.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like Mexican food along with hamburgers and stuff like that, right? It was like, I was like 12, 13 years old. And this place was like right up, like around the corner from my house. So I was there all the time. And they had an arcade inside this Noggles. And they had, in this arcade, they had the skee ball
I played that the other night. Yeah.
Right. So what me and my friends would do now, the way that this place was set up was that some of the games would give you tickets. The skee ball would give you tickets. You could take those tickets and trade them in for food. Right. If you had enough tickets, you could go get a burger or whatever else you wanted. They had this, like, if you have this many tickets, this is how much it's worth. Right.
20 tickets get you a corn dog. Right.
And stuff like that. So me and my friends had this thing that we do all the time. And this is before places were putting security cameras everywhere and what have you. Right.
The good old days.
Right. The good old days. So one of my friends, like this is me. I was like, I think 12 or 13. Another friend of mine that was like 12, and a friend of ours, his little brother that was like 10, something like that. And then another friend of ours that was my age, 13. One of us would go and distract the person that was walking around the arcade that worked there, giving out, making change for people, checking the machines, emptying the machines, stuff like that. Right. One person would go distract. And then two of us, what we would do is we would just feed the balls to the person that was at the top of the ski, and they would just like put it in the 100, the highest level balls, right? So we would have these huge lines of tickets. We'd have all these tickets, and we just go have lunch. And I swear to you, I spent an entire summer doing that every day, having lunch at Noggles, ripping them off from the skee ball machine. Them were the good old days.
They didn't have arcades in the town I lived in. You had to go to another town for the arcades because they didn't have a mall or anything. But that's one thing that kids don't get is like, yeah, they still have them, but an 80s arcade, there was just this vibe and feel to it. I mean, because, you always had, like me, I was a little skinny kid with big old glasses.
Right.
Playing Dig Dug. And then you had, like, the cool kids that were, like, kicking ass at whatever game, and they always had a crowd around them. Right. And, like, if it was a one-on-one game, people would line up behind them to play them.
Yep. Those are the days. And you have... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Stale soda and popcorn smell, and then that...
Everywhere.
And then back then, it was okay to smoke wherever, so there was always a thin veil of smoke.
Yep.
Because they always had it, like, really lit low, too.
Do you guys have a Nickel out there?
No.
So there's a chain of arcades out here in California. I don't know how many there are exactly. I don't know if they go outside of California. But it's an arcade called Nickel. And what they do is it costs you, like, couple bucks to get in, right? Yeah. And then all the games are like a nickel, and you go in and you make change with the person. They give you a ton of nickels for however much you have. $2, $3, whatever. And the games cost maybe 1 or 2 nickels. A couple of them cost like 4 nickels, but you could spend like all day in there just playing games.
Basically, the tokens, but nickels.
Yeah, right. Big token of nickels, but there was a cover fee. You had to pay to get in. Now, I don't know what it is now, but like 10 years ago, it was like $5 to get in, something like that.
And see, and that's a great idea.
You could buy and all that stuff, but yeah, it was pretty popular.
Except Omaha has too much of that. I'm serious. They had a place called Family Funplex,
right?
And it was actually pretty cool. It was at 72nd and Dodge, which is like the heart of the city. Not like downtown or anything, but it's like the heart of like almost the middle of the city. And that was a popular area.
Right.
And their sign was a giant stand-up arcade that was like big enough for like Godzilla or somebody to play maybe.
Damn.
And it was just sitting, on the side of the road right there. Well, they tore it down, but it seems like they rebuilt somewhere. Then you've got the water park that's across from I think it was another one. Maybe that's where they moved to. And they've got all kinds of crap there. And then you've got a Dave and Buster's, which, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you've got a Chuck E. Cheese. And then you've got the Amazing Pizza Machine.
The Amazing Pizza Machine.
That's the name of it.
That sounds like a person who's just learned English. Like if they were going to name a pizza place. Oh yeah, the Amazing Pizza Machine.
Yeah. Well, that's the name of it, but that's basically what it is.
Right.
And it seems like they built a similar thing at the where the old Guitar Center used to be, Mars Music. There was a music store I used to go to all the time. They built one there.
Right.
And then, and we both know that you have more people in your county than I do in my entire state.
Yeah.
So, Omaha is not very big.
No.
You have, okay, I've said that one. It seems like there's another one. And then.
Well, I think you're going to you probably have a lot of movie theaters too. Do you have a lot of movie theater chains too?
Yeah, but they don't really have a lot of like arcades and stuff.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of malls, but I haven't been to the mall in probably 5-6 years.
Jesus, I don't think I've been in a mall and like, okay, we're talking about indoor, outdoor. I've been to outdoor malls. Like we have that. Like I've been to one a couple months ago. Indoor malls, I have not. Oh, well, no, that's not true. I
haven't been to an indoor mall in a long time.
2 years ago, I walked through an indoor mall because Rachel was working at a restaurant at the time at an
I
indoor
remember
mall.
that, yeah.
So that was probably like 2-3 years ago is the last time.
Oh, I
in an
take
indoor
that
mall.
back. I take that back. Last October, I was in a mall. I got to hang out with Frylock. I forgot all about that.
So easy to forget malls, isn't it?
It was so easy to forget Frylock. I mean, he was all right, but it's like I took care of him, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
And I made sure that everything he needed was readily available, and if it wasn't, I rushed to go get it. I was a perfect little assistant.
Nice.
Yeah, it's how I work when I'm working with a celebrity, quasi-celebrity,
Sure.
a voiceover artist, whatever.
Sure.
I go to get an autograph, and he charged me full price.
Oh, hate that.
That's okay, because Doc got one for me anyway and gave it to me.
Helderweb wants to remind us of Shakey's Pizza. I remember Shakey's. I used to love Shakey's when I was a kid.
I know Shaky. He's that dude that shows up in chat sometimes.
I don't know. Do they have Shakey's Pizza out there ever? Or is that mostly like a West Coast thing?
I've heard of it, actually. I don't know.
Shakey's Pizza used to be this big chain pizza in like the 80s, 70s and the 80s.
For as tiny as Omaha is, we have so many flipping restaurants out here. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure you do. Because what else are you going to do? That's the thing about living in areas with smaller population. You get the basics. You get the movie theater. You get the food places. And the arcades. Because you got to have something to entertain people.
That was the one I remembered, but there's still another one I'm forgetting that's around here somewhere.
I came up with a genius idea the other day. Karaoke escape rooms. Okay, go back to your thing.
That's an interesting. Beercade is the last one that I can think of. And it's over in the kind of the hipster section of Omaha.
Right.
And I'm not using that derogatory, but I mean, that's just, it seems like that's the crowd that hangs out in that area.
Got it.
But they have this place called Beercade, and it's got like old school games and you can drink, but it's like nothing. It's just basically a bar that they put an arcade in.
Right.
So that, we've got like 8 or 9 little arcades around here like that. And then restaurants. I mean,
right.
There's certain ones that we had back home in Indiana that we don't have here, like Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
Like, come on, people. But like we have Raising Cane's, obviously.
Yeah.
Outback, Lone Star Steakhouse. What's the other one?
I was telling someone the other day that there's so many restaurants in California that like people started making fusion restaurants.
Well,
like
you have to.
where it's like someone come up with a menu that's like a Korean burrito, or
Yeah.
you know, some kind of where they're mixing cultural foods and
It's amazing what some people do.
African Irish food. You know, it's crazy.
It's amazing what people do with food. It's like when all the
Yeah, it
Gordon
is.
Ramsay craze. I've been rewatching a lot of his. I like Gordon Ramsay because
He's fun.
he doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make you better, even if he's sitting there wondering your very parentage.
Yeah.
But he when the Master Chef came out, there was a bunch of people, oh, you should try out for that. I'm like, you know what? No. I was like, look what these people are doing. I don't do little portions of fancy little twirly sauce on it.
Right.
When I make a meal, it's going to stick to your ribs and you're going to know you ate it. And you're going to be like, damn, that was good.
There's a difference between having a bite and having a meal. You know?
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Gordon Ramsay, he's amazing. I mean, look, he's won how many Michelin stars?
Sure.
When they say Michelin stars, it's like, is that anything to do with Michelin tires?
It does. As you don't know the story of what a Michelin star is?
No.
So Michelin, the tire company, used to put out a travel guide. And it was like, oh, you want to check out this hotel? Like if you went to a new city, you could take the Michelin travel guide, and you could see like where to eat, where to sleep, where to do all these things.
Like
things
a Yelp before Yelp.
Yeah. So what started happening was that they started reviewing, because the people want to know how good were the restaurants that they were saying you should check out. So they started reviewing the restaurants and giving them high praise. Well, people really started to like this. So restaurants, they started getting more serious about it. And then over time, the Michelin star review became a huge thing.
Okay.
So basically that's where it comes from. It does absolutely 100% has to do with the Michelin Tire Company.
I was actually joking, but that's
that's it. you weren't wrong.
Huh. That's pretty interesting because, I mean, like I said, I love Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think he elevates a little too much.
Yeah.
Because most blue collar people, when they go into a restaurant, they don't want, where you get like a steak or a piece of fish or whatever, but then you've got like this little designer sauce and a designer
off
pattern.
The side. Who cares?
All twirly or sprinkled, drizzled on there. It's like, and I've cooked like that since then, and I hated it. Because it's like, this is stupid. You're charging somebody $30 for this. You're out of your goddamn mind.
Well, you got to remember when, like food prices can be freaking insane. But I think what people forget is that you're not paying for just the food.
Well, they weren't paying for the cleanliness. I can tell you that. I was on the line one time and the dish girl came by and I was like, hey, and I'm always pretty cool when I'm working. I was like, hey, here's, this dish is dirty. She takes the rag that she had hanging on her belt, wipes it off, and puts it back on the line. I'm like, oh, hell no.
Oh, wow. That's horrible.
So I took that bowl and put it in the dish tub, but
yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, but no thanks.
I ended up leaving not long after. The dude would sit there and smoke meat, and he'd just crack the back door and have the smoker exhaust right by the back door.
Oh, yeah. Don't go back there. That's horrible.
Well, the problem is, you call the health inspector on him, but guess what? They get a notice whenever a health inspector is coming. I'm like, what good does that do?
Yeah. I've only seen one restaurant that I knew of closed because of a health inspector, but it wasn't their fault. Like there used to be this ramen place that I used to love, and then they closed down. They kept on getting shut down, and there would be this like, the health inspector always puts like a thing on their window or the door that gives you the rating, and it would always be like really low. And finally, they opened up again afterwards, and I went in there. I was like, "What's the problem?" And apparently, because this was, you understand, this was a restaurant inside of a much larger building. It was like an office building.
Right.
And it was like about 10 stories high. And this was at the bottom of
And
it.
they didn't have proper exhaust.
And no. They had proper exhaust. They had proper everything. The problem was that the place was infested with rats.
Oh.
And they couldn't get the building owners to do anything about it, because I guess the place was so infested that they literally tried to put barriers between where the back of their restaurant opened up to the rest of the office complex, right? And they try to do all these things. Each time they were trying to create barriers so those rats that were infesting the building couldn't get in. And the thing that sucked about it the most was that this was the only restaurant in the building, right? The rest of it was like other things, businesses, and I think there was a shoe shine and a hairdresser, thing like that. There was a music shop, that kind of thing. But this is the only restaurant. So yeah, they had to get out, and they couldn't afford to find a new place to move to. So they basically closed their business. It sucked.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was really good food too.
Yeah,
Most of the restaurants in California are usually pretty good about keeping up the ratings, because California is very, like, I had a friend that worked for Subway sandwiches and was their quality inspector, and her job was to go to all the different Subway sandwich shops within a region, and she was to give them surprise inspections, inspect their quality. She could shut them down that day if she needed to, if it wasn't up to quality, because California has very strict laws when it comes to like restaurants and what's allowed and what's not allowed, and how often they're inspected. So you don't see a lot of like dirty restaurants in California because they get shut down fast.
Let's see, this dude joined some club and they know when the inspector's coming around.
Yeah.
That's
helpful.
Yeah, you gotta have money to make money, I guess.
Yeah.
Good old boy network at its finest. There's a pizza chain here that's been here for like decades.
Right.
And I don't think I knew you then, but I worked for them briefly, and I left there not too long after. I went and started working for the Filet of Chick. Chicken for the Lord. Those people. Whatever your religion is, that's cool. I don't care. But keep it to yourself. I probably know.
Talk about a foul uprising.
Right? Well, and they kept getting on me to shave my beard. Now, I kept it trimmed, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
That ain't happening. Not for what you're paying me, one. And two, and then we were still pretty active. I was doing Larry every other week or so.
Right.
And then they're like, blah, blah, blah. Well, then I said, and I'm not trying to upset anybody who may be watching or may watch it later. Just pre-qualify that now. I said, why do you guys give me so much problems about my hair and beard? Jesus had hair and beard.
Oh my God, you want to hear something funny? I showed Tam a TikTok last night, and it was a TikTok.
That 3 times fast.
It was a Tam a TikTok last night, and it was the last one that I had made, and she thought like one of the people in it was you. She goes, did you make this because Wolf made it? I'm all like, what? She goes, did you make it because Wolf made it? I go, what are you talking about? And she goes, well, because wasn't Wolf in there? I go, no, that wasn't Wolf. And then we went back and looked at it. I go, and that guy's Asian.
Well, it's just because every time she sees me, I'm all Chinese-eyed, so.
She was... Are you kidding me? Let's see. Hold on. Maybe I can find it. Hold on a second. Let me see for a second. If I could, I'll pull it up. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Let's see. View profile. Okay. Let me switch over.
No, this pizza chain, their cooler where they kept everything had black mold in it.
Ah, that's the worst.
Yep.
Like I've managed a pizza shop before, and you have to work hard to make sure that you don't get mold into places. That's nasty.
Well, they just didn't care.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I mean, hell, there was this one dude that worked there.
Mm-hmm.
He was out of it one day. The next day he comes in, he's like, "Oh, sorry about calling in yesterday."
Right.
I'm like, dude, you were here. I mean, you weren't here, but you were here. He's like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, you came in and you were doing shit. We were prep cooks and it fucking sucked.
Being a prep cook can be
I
painful
had
work.
to be there at like 5:30 in the morning to make pizza.
No, I was a prep guy for Little Caesars for a while, and I had to get there like 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes before they woke up. Before we opened up, and I would have to like make any dough that wasn't made the night before. I had to like prep all the the things where you put the ingredients in the tubs.
Well, we had to prep everything for the buffet too.
Oof, fun.
Because there was all kinds of stuff going on for the buffet. I mean,
right.
But the good thing is we could pretty much eat whatever we wanted.
That's nice.
But at the same time, it was like
Men are
yeah, and the amount of oil that they put in their pizza dough, it's like, good Lord.
A lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Can you see the screen right now?
Yes.
So see the guy in the far right corner?
That does kind of look like me.
Damn, thought that was you.
That does, and especially because he's doing that face.
Yeah. I'll see if I can.
Like you said in that chat, it's like your face is the same in every picture. I'm like, I know. That's Larry.
That was actually pretty good. I was pretty impressed with that.
Almost every picture you would see the Wolfman in, that's the face that I do. Just because it's like, whoa, picture.
Yeah.
He's like excited, confused, bewildered.
Like, what's that? It's exactly what a dog would look like in that moment.
Yeah, it's like squeaky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this video is actually
I've practiced that a lot.
You're good at it. You're good at it.
That's why every picture, I've got almost the exact same
look in everyone.
Yeah. Like, whoa.
What's going on?
Picture.
This is actually a funny little video. Hold on.
terrified by women.
Why? What you afraid of? Why are you afraid of me? I'm fine. I'm nice. What do you need? I'll get it for you. Don't be scared.
Men are terrified
That's
by
funny.
women.
Why?
I
What
need
you
to
afraid
do
of?
that sometime. Is just throw on the Larry makeup and then do some TikTok reaction videos.
Oh, you should. That'd be funny.
I've got a couple I need to do for Mick anyway, which he's a big fan of yours too.
What?
Yeah. He moved to Phoenix.
Oh, poor guy. Shit. He's
Yeah,
gotta be suffering.
Yeah, but especially from Omaha. But I mean, at the same time, he's living at the hotel he's working at right now, so he's got access to the pool.
That's nice. Well, here's the thing about pools. Once you get a certain heat, like once it's like over, to me, I won't go in a pool if it's over like 95 outside, 100 outside. And the reason is because, especially if that pool doesn't have any shade. Like if that pool doesn't have any shade,
since we bought it.
Oh my God, it's like getting into a warm bath. Who wants to get into a warm bath on a hot day? You know?
Well, yeah, it was hot here for a while, and Cammy went and checked the pool. It was 100 degrees in there.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, just put some taters in there.
Yeah, no
Make a
kidding.
soup.
Might as well at that point. Might as well.
But yeah, it was like 114 when he got there. He's like, "Good Lord!" He goes, "It's hot." He goes, "But it doesn't feel as bad." It's like it's because it's the humidity. It's like everybody
the humidity
always
makes it
says
worse.
that,
Yeah,
but the humidity, it makes it feel like you're swimming.
I know.
Like, I don't know what it was, if there was a lot of humidity when we were in Oklahoma, but it was just hot.
Right.
I didn't see any weather report the whole time. Anytime I went out to have a smoke, I'm just like,
Well, like next week here in California, it's supposed to get hot. Apparently, it's supposed to get like
right.
Let's see. Next oh no, it dropped. Woohoo! Yeah, it was supposed to get like 105. Now it's dropped to 91. That's nice. I'll take that. I'm ready for the summer to end.
I keep forgetting you don't have Xbox. Damn it.
Nope. PS5. Why?
Oh, because there's some games we could play.
You know what my favorite thing to do is on GTA right now?
Huh. Go ahead.
Is my favorite thing to do right now is to get on a bicycle and go around like downtown Los Santos, you know, wherever. And I tried to get people to chase me in their cars. Like I'll shoot at them, you know, from a distance, and they'll see that I'm on a bicycle and they'll start chasing after me. But what they don't realize is how much more maneuverable a bicycle is than a car.
Right.
Right. So I'll go like down the alleyways. I'll go on the sidewalks. They'll run into trees. It's hilarious. And then when they eventually, if they get lucky enough and they do kill me, I just get on the bike. I go, ha ha, you took that long to kill someone on a bike. It just makes me laugh. It tickles me every time. Oh, I think I lost you. Wolf, you there? I think I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, it kicked me out for a minute.
That was weird. Maybe a connection loss or something like that. Anyway, I do have to get going, Wolf. I got to get dinner ready for the dog and stuff. So thanks for talking to me. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate it. It's always good talking to you. You come on anytime you want.
You're always welcome. Other thing we talked about,
yeah, we do. Send me something like an outline of what you want to do, or whatever. You said you had an idea. I'd love to hear it.
All right, sounds good, brother. I will talk at you soon. And anybody watching, thanks. And
all right, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Helder. Thank you very much for watching. Helder says, "Well, guess I need a life." No, you're good, man. It's good that you're here. Thank you very much. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Well, I'll try to be back. If I'm not back tomorrow, I might actually do something over the weekend. So follow along and make sure that you stay in touch. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I will talk to everybody next time.